Hi. Hello. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Today is Thursday, September 11th, 2025. Welcome, 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 y'all. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing okay. Um, yeah. Man, what a week, eh? What a week. The things have been going. Hey, Ed, how's it going, buddy? Nice to see you. Thanks for coming out. Um, yeah. Thanks. Yeah. It's a local record shop. Yeah. And yeah. Hey, Brian, what's up? How's it going? Good to see you. Thanks for coming out. Um, yeah. Yeah. Just been plugging away at our S3 1200 sampler this week. Holy moly. What a ride. What a ride so far. And we haven't even started actually posting videos or anything about this build. Um, where to begin? Where to begin? Ed says, doing pretty good. Got more features working on my sampler. Shout to whichever one of the boys mentioned Claude for my dumb self. Not sure what the last part means, but Um, good. Happy to hear it. Very happy to hear that. Um, uh, yeah, it's awesome when you get stuff working properly, eh? Um, I feel like I could use a victory like that soon, you know? Um, I can tell you, let me find the where's that module? Where'd our module go? I've encountered some issues with the with this guy. This guy, this PCM 5102. I've encountered some problems in trying to get our time division multiplexing to work. Um, and oh, I got a haircut. I forgot I got a haircut. But yeah, I'm just encountering issues with this. It's yeah, it's just like every time I get it working, I can get samples to play sequentially, right? So let me back up a second actually. So last week we were trying to send a sine wave tone through this whole like multiplexing thing, right? And I was reading in my trusty textbook, this guy right here, all about time division multiplexing. Oh, okay, right. Claude is the AI thing, right? Well, I'm glad that worked for you. That's it's it's nice to get a hand every once in a while, especially when you're stuck, you know. Um, but me, I go to the old textbook. Anyway, so I was thumbing through this, and oddly enough, I opened to the exact page of time division multiplexing, and I stumbled. And honestly, I didn't have it bookmarked or anything, so that's really funny. But one of the things that I came across that really stuck out to me was this, okay? Was this line right here, okay? And this is about time division multiplexing in it says in telephony, right? So um, this is how they used time division multiplexing in phone lines when they went back in the old days when they had landlines and stuff. But I think the same principle is being applied to what we're doing here, right? And this is the line that jumped out at me. The samples must be transmitted at the same rate as they were obtained in the order for the signal to be reconstructed at the receiver without delay. So that got me thinking, right? Uh, it got me thinking, and I said, you know what? Hook up the uh, let's hook up the SD card and work with actual samples. So I loaded a SD card with um, uh, 8 samples corresponding to each 8 of our channels, right? Um, and Yeah, that part. So I got 8 samples on my SD card, and I got it to play sequentially through each sample on the sampler. Defined the sample rate as our desired sample rate of 26,040, and they're 16-bit samples for now, right? Because this guy works better at 16 bits. So I got all that hooked up. Found a little issue with my SD card module that I found really interesting that I'd like to mention. And that is that for whatever reason, it can operate at, and this is not clear in the Amazon listing, is that it can be used with a 5 volt or a 3.3 volt um, microcontroller, meaning you can use it with Arduino, you can use it with an ESP32. However, the one problem with it is that it needs to be powered by 5 volts. And I didn't realize that. And it took me a day to figure out how to get that working. And then I gave up and I just said, well, I'm just going to try powering with 5 volts. Boom. Got my SD card to mount. And then I struggled for quite a long time getting my RAM, my PS RAM on my ESP32 to work. But I did get it working. So now I'm utilizing 8 megabytes of the PS RAM. So what happens is I load the samples up. Uh, I, or sorry, I load up the sketch. The SD card mounts, the PS RAM is initialized, and I load the samples into individual buffers in the PS RAM, right? So thumbs up, we're flying like a lion, right? No problem, can get it playing back the samples sequentially, nice clean toggles through the multiplexer, which is fantastic. Now, the problem is when you get to trying to play samples at the same time. That's where the big problem is, right? Because we're going through one DAC channel, right? So there's all kinds of ways that you can do that. You can interleave the samples together, which I tried doing that, and doing our fast switching. Uh, yeah, so that's how far I got with this guy. Um, and Basically kept hitting a brick wall every time I tried to do polyphonic playback. Um, and There's a lot of reasons for that. There seems to be a latency between um, the I2S protocol writing to the DAC and yeah, just writing to the DAC and accessing the data from the PS RAM. So when you're designing like a regular sample, that latency is okay when you're not doing polyphony. But when you're doing polyphony, or you're attempting to send the same signal across one DAC channel, it just ends up being like a gated mess, um, every single time. Every single time, it just ends up being a complete gated mess, right? So I thought, um, maybe what I need to do is make sure that the switching is happening super fast on the 4051. So I did that, and started using the GPIO, the fast GPIO writing. So it's pretty much instantaneous. What was it? It was like 60. You can switch the pins on the ESP32 at a rate of like, I think it's 0.06 microseconds. So you can do it pretty much instantaneously. So I implemented that, and I still got like a super gated output. So yeah, um, I tried all kinds of different ways to get this to work. Well, not necessarily slow playback, um, and not, but uh, yeah, it's not necessarily. Yeah, I guess it's kind of like a combination of the two. Um, so there's this latency that happens, right? That when you're just playing samples individually, you don't really notice the latency, right? Yeah, it comes out just basically as just a like a um buzzing noise, right? Um so yeah, that just so yeah, that's basically is just, how far I got, um and couldn't figure out any way to increase the speed, or decrease that latency. Um hey, Abnorm, thanks for coming. Nice to see you. So yeah. So anyways, so I tried a different approach. Um, it was actually one that Brian had messaged me about. He sent me a message a couple days ago. Um, when I tried, its samples seemed to smear into each other. Couldn't get them to separate. Right, right. I mean, that's part of the thing too, right? Is that so? Actually, Brian, while you're there, um, if they smeared, like, yeah, like, for me, the samples sounded like they were all being triggered at the same time, but it was just like, and that's what it sounded like. And it kind of like you could hear the volume swell and kind of like release. So you could tell that all the hits were happening, but it was just like, uh, but there's that latency that's creating like a bottleneck. It just can't get the I2S right, just can't do it that fast. Can't do it fast enough to make it go like really, really smooth, right? That's kind of like where I got with it. For me, when I trigger samples, they play perfectly fine, but when I play two samples simultaneously, they sound slightly slow and mostly choppy when played together. Right. Right. Yeah. Um, right, and that's on your 202 type thing, right? Polyphony in that the samples layer over each other without distortion would be awesome. Right. Right. Yeah. Um, when I trigger Ed, is that for your 202? Is that for your 202 sampler? Like the one that you used with the I think you were saying, like, I think you said you were using like an RPi 2000. I can't remember the exact model, but it was like based on a Raspberry Pi module. Is that right? Or are you talking about experiments that you're doing with the ESP32S3? Right. Yeah, see, I think you're going through you're going through a different issue than what I'm going through. Okay. Okay, yeah. My issue's a little bit different because I'm trying to get 8 channels of audio, right? 8 channels of mono audio. So, um so basically I want 8 samples, right? I want to be able to trigger 8 samples at a time and they go through one DAC channel and they get split up appropriately. That's what we're trying to achieve with this, right? So, needless to say, it's proving to be quite difficult uh, for me to figure that out with this. But as I was saying, is that Brian messaged me like I don't know a couple days ago that he was messing around with um, an R2R DAC, which he made out of uh, uh, resistors, right? And using the ESP32 and using sounds that way, and or transmitting the sounds like that, transmitting the sounds um, in that with the R2R DAC, and I had more success. I had way more success doing multiplexing with that. Still working on getting a ton of channels, but right now I'm very close to getting at least 2. And the reason for that, I think, is that the GPIO switching is just that much faster than and we can do the GPIO switching with basically no latency, right? Or at least very, very minimal latency. So we're talking 0.06 microseconds, so 60 nanoseconds. So that switching is super fast. Right, you're doing all your yeah, right. Yeah, I can get the polyphonic playback too with up to 8 samples as well. The issue that I'm having though, right, is that we want 8 channels. We want 8 separate mono channels, right? And um doing it through 2 stereo outputs is fine, but then we only have our 4 outputs, right? So I guess the thing is like do we want is everybody I guess what it comes down to is does everybody really want the 8 individual outputs? Is that like a deal breaker? Um, or we can do all the mixing digitally, like kind of like how Brian's doing it, right? Where you could have, say, 2 DACs hooked up and you get 4 outputs basically, um, in one chip. Or sorry, in from one ESP32, right? So we could do it like that. But I am having some success with the DAC, the R2R DAC, and the sample and hold stuff. Um, I am kind of in it, it's still kind of like in its infancy. Um, but I can actually show you guys um, kind of where I'm at with it if you want. Um, and the couple caveats um, that I'm trying with this, right, is that, um, and it's still not perfect, but I'm doing so. The samples that I'm using are 26 kilohertz and 16-bit, right? It would be so in my code that I've got on the ESP32 right now is I'm reducing the bit rate of the samples to 12-bit So they are quite distorted and noisy. Um, so it is kind of hard to tell when things are happening. But I do have clean switching going on. There's actually two sketches that I can show you. There's one where I'm playing all the samples uh, sequentially, and you can hear the clean channel switching. And then I'll show you one that I'm trying to do, just have two channels play simultaneously, and I can try messing around with it a little bit while we're here and see if we can get a cleaner output on one of the channels because one of the we'll get there. I was gonna go into detail, but let me pull up my code that I have for the R2R switching, and then I'll show you guys what that sounds like. One sec. Just give me 1 second here. So, anyways, yeah, we're getting there. It's just, you know, uh, yeah, it just might take a while. Let me just see. I think this is the one where I'm playing back all the. Yes. Okay. So let me just double check and then I'll turn on the thing. So yeah, it's something to think about. Um, something to think about, like whether we want the 8 channels or not. I mean, or are we just trying to, do you think it might be, we could always go to like a DAC with an I2S DAC with 8 channels. It would just cost more, right? Um, so, it all depends on what we want to do. Um, but if everybody's kind of happy with just four, we could just do four. Um, so yeah, just kind of depends what everybody wants. I'm just queuing it up here. If you can just give me 1 sec, I just got to double check that it's because I've just got to double check that it's working. It was working, so man, this has been such a hell ride already. I'll tell you, it's been a huge project already, and we haven't even done anything yet. It's crazy. Okay, this is a different one. Just give me 1 sec, guys. I've gone through so many iterations of this. Um, it's crazy. It's wild. Like you should see how many sketches I have on here. It does have 8 out stock. Yeah, yeah. That's why I was kind of hoping to get 8. Um, and there's more elegant ways that we can do 8. I'm just trying to do it the way that the SP that is in keeping with the original SP 1200. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you. I think it would be nice to have some individual outs just because then we could it would just be a lot more fun to process different sounds with like pedals or whatever, right? Yeah, same. I hear you. What the heck? Which one is it? Let's try this one. try this one. I mean, a part of it is it's not so much a less headache. It's the headache is really not coming from the headache part of it is really coming just from the limitations of um, trying to work with these sort of like off the shelf components. That's kind of where the headache comes from. I think we could, you know, if we had an 8 channel I2S DAC, so one with more outputs than just a stereo output, it would be no problem. I think we could probably get away with it, right? Brian says, I've been looking at the PCM 3168. It's a current TDM DAC, but I can't find an evaluation board. Right. Yeah, I was looking at something too. You know what? We should message each other on Instagram about that because uh, yeah, I was looking at some 8 channel ones as well. Um, and I know that the ESP32, there's an internal function that's an actual time division multiplexing function that requires no analog circuitry. It's all digital. So that would make the coding part a lot faster, right? Okay, so I've got the sketch uh, loaded up, the appropriate sketch here. So if you guys just give me 1 sec, I'm just going to load up Ableton here and so you guys can hear uh, where I'm kind of at with the R2R DAC. Here. Okay, so um, so what's going to happen is I'm going to I'm just going to press reset on my ESP32 here. Okay, and then what you're hearing is, yes, they're super distorted samples, but remember they're uh, 16-bit samples that are being bit reduced to 12 bits, so we're losing a lot of information, right? It's different when you're actually sampling, uh, when you're actually sampling true 12-bit um, sampling. Yeah, that's right, Brian. You're right about that. You're right about that. So anyway, so you guys will hear it. What's happening is I'm actually using the R2R DAC here. Actually, I can probably move myself out of the way here so you guys can see the DAC that I have set up. Just give me 1 sec. Oh, here we go. There we go. So here's the R2R DAC that I have set up. So that's a 12-bit R2R DAC. Okay. And so what I have right now is that it's going through all of our normal time division multiplexing stuff, um, and going into my 404 Mark II. This is my audio interface, right? So I'm going to press reset on the um, ESP32, and then you guys will actually hear the samples playing back in sequential order. Um, so, and then what I'll do is I will show you what each individual channel actually sounds like coming out of the 4051. Okay, so you can hear the clean channel switching of each sound. Let me just grab. Do I have a tripod handy? Let me just grab a tripod so you guys can see me do the switching as well. Okay, just give me 1 second. Yeah, I think the TDM over I2S might be a better solution. It'll definitely make it easier in terms of audio quality. That we could have like a variable audio quality kind of thing. We're not stuck with anything, right? But yeah, I don't know. We're still figuring this part out of it. Okay, so here we go. So, all right, let me just move myself to a less desirable portion of the whoops of the thing. Okay, so um, just whoops. Hey, Zoop. All right, so here we go. All right, I'm gonna press reset, and then you guys can hear all the samples. Woo! All right, so those are all the samples. So now what I'm gonna do. Yep, we're gonna do it in chunks. We're gonna do it in chunks. We're gonna start off with a power supply, get that board made, and then we're gonna make it like a modular, kind of like a modular build. So this is channel 0 on the multiplexer. So that's the kick. It sounds really shitty, but that has a lot of, that's the what's the word I'm looking for? That's the bit reduction, the software bit reduction. So that's our kick. Okay. So that's a pretty clean channel toggle there. And then this is channel 1 from the multiplexer. Okay. So you can hear that it's all good, man. It's all good. So that's channel 1. So you can hear that there's no artifacts, like in terms of um, there any smearing when you're doing that sequential um, kind of playback, right? Here's channel 2. That's a hi-hat sound. And then here's, I think this is a clap. Yeah. So pretty good in terms of isolation, right? Um, that's like a bass sound, but it's really super blown out. That bit reduction really messes with the sound. This is another kind of bassy synth sound. Um, where's that last channel? This is the last channel. I think we missed a channel, didn't we? Did we? No, I don't think so, actually. So yeah, there you go. So pretty decent in terms of channel switching and stuff. And now I'll show you guys the latest thing that I was trying to do. Sorry the sound sounds so distorted. I don't have anything. I need to actually the 12-bit, record a 12-bit. Otherwise you just get that constant distortion, right? All right. All right. So let's go to the latest sketch that I've got. One sec. So it's like super distorted, but you know, The end of each sample is distorted. Is there a reason it's mostly at the end of the sample? Um, I think it's when you're bit reducing a sample, right? You're losing um, from 16-bit to 12-bit, right? You're losing basically four super important bits, right? So um, that silence is actually where it would be silent is actually now filling with sort of like noise, right? Um, and so that would go away if we actually recorded at 12-bit. It would still be noisy, like an SB 1200, but it would be significantly reduced. Okay, and then let me go to the latest. So this is how this one works. This one is attempting to play um, two samples at once, and I'll show you guys kind of like kind of where I'm at um, with this. So I'm trying to play um, that kick drum and the snare at the same time. Um, so uh, how do I put this? Um, so I've done the usual stuff. I've interleaved the samples and trying to do that really fast switching with the 4051, and you'll hear what I'm getting in hopefully be able to hear what I'm hearing. Um, and Yeah, so what's going to happen is the two samples are going to essentially play together, quote unquote, uh, uh, every 1 second. So it's not going to be switching as fast as it was before. Okay, here we go. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what channel 0 sounds like. Okay, or sorry, let me reverse that. I'm going to show you what channel 1 sounds like. This is what channel 1 sounds like. This is the snare. Okay. So again, it's super distorted, but that's right now, that's just what it sounds like. It's not, you know, it's just what it sounds like due to the bit reduction. But this is what I get when I'm, see? For one thing, you can hear some clicking, right? And it almost sounds like it's bleeding into the next channel, right? It's like it's just got like a low pass filter on it, right? So, but you can still sense that there's low end in it, which is interesting, right? So, I've got a couple things that I can try real quick, um, or that I am going to try really quick to try to reduce that bleed. Um, and really, it's really comes down to adding delay because the switching on the GPIO pins are so much faster than what we were using before, or when I was using the PCM 5102. So I'm just gonna add a quick delay here, and it's like in the realm of like microseconds, right? It's like nothing, but it makes a difference uh, when you're dealing in microseconds uh, for the switching, right? So let me just double check one thing. Dee 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 dee. This thing's nuts. I gotta tell you, it's absolutely crazy. The amount of troubleshooting and testing that I've done the past couple weeks is just insane. It's absolutely crazy. Okay. I mean, really, this whole endeavor really could be simplified by kind of doing what you know, um, by just like getting a DAC with 8 outputs. But I don't know. I accepted the challenge of trying to get the you know um, sort of like SP 1200 vibe. So that's why I've been so adamant on trying to get this to work. But if it doesn't yield any good results, it's like I don't want to waste too much time when we can very easily get 8 outputs another way, right? Uh, right. Okay. All right. So I'm going to add this delay. I just had to check my notes um, in terms of the timing. Okay. So let's add I'm going to add a delay between the time the DAC gets written to and the channel select and see if that helps us out in terms of eliminating the bleed. We'll see. I don't know. It might not do anything. It's just uploading. I guess I could show you guys that, right? I have to say though, this module for the most part is very easy to work with. This PCM 5102. I definitely use it in another project for sure. All right. So let's see. I'm gonna remove the snare and see if we get just the kick drum. No. Okay. Because that's definitely not how the kick drum sounds on its own. Um, okay. In fact, I can show you what the samples sound like in full fidelity, if you like. Um, let's see. I don't know if you guys could hear that. That's the full fidelity version. Let me make sure that it sounds okay. Oh, sorry, that's this is the snare, and this is the kick. Maybe it is pretty similar, eh? It's so hard to tell. It's it's yeah, it does sound like they're smeared together, doesn't it? Um, is there a way to repeat? Let's see. I think you can. Is that how you repeat in Apple Music or whatever? Shit. Stop. Little Kendrick for you guys. Anyway, yeah, that's definitely just the snare. I think you can hear that. There's some noise at the beginning. I don't know what that's from. There they are together. I'm gonna try one other thing, and that's the apparently in old school samplers, what they do sometimes is they select the channel before they write to the DAC. So I'm gonna try that and see if that makes any difference. So I'm just gonna swap when the two things happen and see if that makes any difference. I could also try. I guess I could try like a bigger. Um, are you using the enable pin uh, on the multiplexer to gate each bit? Oh, that's a good point. Am I doing that? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Indeed, I am. I'll send you this, Brian. I'll send you this code, and you can take a look at it, see if I'm nuts. Okay, let me just switch these around. See if this makes a difference. Let's try this. Okay. I've uploaded so many times to the S3, it's the excitement's really worn off. You know what I mean? How's everybody doing? Good? Hope everybody's good. Okay, let's see. Definitely. So that's just the snare. Good. Glad to hear it, Abnorm. That's great. How are those ducks? Still getting it. Man, I don't know. Oh, man. Yeah. Anyway, this could really all be avoided, you know. Um, but yeah, Brian, I'm gonna get you to look over this code, see if I'm missing something. Maybe I'm missing something, but yeah, I'm getting to the point where it's just like, um, I think we should. Nice. Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. Things are good. Things are good. Yeah, that's good. That's good. I'm glad you're doing good. I'm happy to hear everybody's doing well. It's a crazy world out there. But yeah, I'm getting to the point. I'm getting to the point with this time division multiplexing that I'm just like, oh, damn. Holy crap. That's insane. Oh, wow. Yeah, those hawks, man, they're vicious. I had I have there's some hawks in my area as well, and Um, had one on my back porch just mutilating a pigeon. It was vicious. It was vicious. Anyway, I'm getting to the point with this, as I was saying, with this time division multiplexing stuff, where it's like I don't know if it's worth the aggravation because it's quite aggravating, and the I think it could be solved rather quickly, um, just using a better, not a better, but an easier um, DAC, you know, with the eight channels of DAC, um, and we could achieve the exact same thing. Yeah, it's crazy. Hawks are crazy. They're nuts. They're absolutely crazy. Like they're just vicious. Um, yeah. You guys ever watch those David Attenborough nature documentaries? There was one uh, that he did the whole spiel on hawks, and they are just, you know, yeah, it's just vicious creatures, vicious creatures. It doesn't help I'm not much of a bird fan to begin with. I don't mind, like little, um, you know, land birds like ducks. I have no beef with ducks, or the odd time I don't mind walking by a goose. But man, yeah, hawks. They're another no joke, no joke. Anyway, any flying bird kind of weirds me out sometimes. But anyway, so this is the plan. This is the plan. I've got a game plan. You ready for it? I'm gonna send Brian my code, get him to look it over, make sure I'm not missing anything really ridiculously obvious. And then if he comes back without any kind of any, you know, feedback that or help that gets us in the right place, then I'm thinking we're gonna go shopping for a better DAC because I really want 8 channels of audio output. That's kind of the whole thing. You know, so it's the whole thing with the SP 1200, right? It's not just the sample rate and the bit rate of the audio, but it's the 8 channels. You know, it's that 8 channels. So, anyways, yeah, I'm becoming very frustrated, but yeah. So that's what we're gonna do. But yeah, next week we're gonna launch the series. Just the basic intro kind of thing. No, 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 no. I mean, the nice thing about the modern I2S stuff out there is that it's usually pretty variable. Like you can kind of define um, what your bit rate's going to be. Yeah, sliders too. Yeah. But you can define what your bit rate's going to be, your sample rate, all that stuff. They're pretty flexible for the most part. Um, so yeah, we're gonna look. I think we might have to go shopping. But again, Brian could have the magic answer. You never know. Um, so, anyways, that's what we're gonna do. Um, so, yeah, we're gonna do the introduction video next week. So that'll come out, get everybody excited for the SP S3 1200 build, and then yeah, hopefully we'll get a couple more people on board, which would be really cool. And you know, yeah, Okay, so they are not set to 12 but can be pro. Correct. Yep, that's right. That's right. Exactly. Exactly. Um, and it might be kind of neat because then, there's a possibility that we could make it like a, you know, um, uh, one that you could have a little more flexibility with, right? Um, you wouldn't necessarily be able to mix bit rates in a project, but we could probably figure out a way to make it so that you could say, hey, today I feel like working in 16-bit instead of 12 or whatever. That's definitely a possibility. I'd have to look into it more, but that could be something, right? So, anyhow, um, yeah, yeah, exactly. Um, so that's the plan. Gonna do another live stream on Saturday night, probably. Do some more messing around. Ed came out to the last one. We had a little gear chat, which was fun. I was hooking up some guitar stuff, and I realized that um, after the live stream, I was processing it completely incorrectly. And, anyways, it didn't really sound very good in the live stream when I listened back to it. But anyway, yeah, next week I'll probably this week, sorry, I'll probably be on Saturday night doing some more stuff and yeah, messing around, making some stuff. And then yeah, so next Wednesday we're gonna get the basic intro video out for the S3 1200, and then 2 weeks after that we'll start working on the power supply. Yeah, hooking up my amp and stuff, pedals and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll work on the power supply, and then yeah, it'll be good. It'll be good. And that's about it. Yeah. So, anyways, kind of a short live stream this week, but you know, kind of wanted to give everybody a status update where we were in terms of the this gosh darn multiplexing stuff. So it's been a real challenge, a real journey. A real journey. I've learned a lot so far. Um, learn to appreciate the engineering that goes into building a sampler like the SP 1200. Huge feat of engineering. Uh, oh, nice. Oh, there you go. Amazing. That's amazing. That's great. That's awesome. And um that's using the PCM 5102 brand. That's really cool though. That's really cool. I dig it. Um so that's interesting. I do want to get 8 channels though. I don't want to be that guy, but I'm gonna be that guy. I want 8 channels, so we'll see. But that's awesome. That's awesome. I'm insanely jealous because I've just been working on this multiplexing stuff. But anyhow, how many of these guys can you hook up in tandem? I wonder. How many can you hook? You know, how many can you hook up together? Anybody know? Like, can you daisy chain them together? Because that could be an option. Yeah, yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, I want 8 channels too. I want to like run a snare drum specifically through a reverb or something. You know what I mean? Or like whatever. I want to take my one signal and send it here, and then take another signal and send it here. You know. Kind of curious about that. Maybe this could be our guy, depending on how many of them you can link together. I don't know. I don't know. But at the same time, right, right. Thank you. Yeah, there's only two on there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. That's why, like, we can get those TDM. Uh, you can get the TDM ones, right? Okay. My mind is turning to mush. Therefore, I'm going to say so long for this week, and hope everybody has a great week. Um, yeah, and that's all I have to say. Have a great week. Um, if you're bored on Saturday night, come on out. And that's it. That's it. Look forward to the kickoff next week. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be great. Get that video up on Wednesday. And then, yeah, there we go. All right. See you guys. Thanks again for coming out.